Hey everybody, it's a dork duo, me and Patu, and we're finally going to play the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve.
We finally get to find out what all the secret hubbub was about.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh.
Standing here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean. Those days in London seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital. You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer. I've no doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting some noble cause in court. Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months after arriving home.
I find myself faced with another awful crime. She's back!
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life. As a lawyer.
Oh.
Please, I ask for your guidance. Kazuma-sama.
Miss Giselle Brett's dead!
Well, good. No one cared about her.
Episode 1. The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. That's right. It's time for Susato to take charge in court.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So welcome back to the Supreme Court of Judicature. Here I am again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Ah, good. You're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous, I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish I'd never been born. Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Eugene Mikotoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. A man who, earlier in his life, traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. And this will be you, another young lady.
Oh.
You don't have to worry about, like, you know, change your voice if you don't need to, because I'm not going to.
Okay. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, okay. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right, miss.
Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, the whole thing.
Let me try that again. I know how to do this. Ray Membobby. Nope. Ray Membami. There we go. Woo!
Jeez.
We're in the same
These
year as
names.
I, and my greatest friend. Ray. Is that?
Okay.
Wait. Maybe not.
Yes?
Hold
Is
on.
it Is it spoilery, or is it somebody that you know?
One sec.
Go ahead, take your time.
I hate to cut in while we're recording. This is gonna be really annoying, but it's been a while since we recorded this. Since we recorded the first one, and I could have sworn Ray's name popped up, and maybe not. Okay, no, I'm just imagining things. I'm sorry. Anyway, though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at University Research Laboratory, helping my father. And sadly, she's a defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder.
Shoot.
Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flustered and flushed.
Oh my. Well, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing.
Sorry?
When I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful.
Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work.
Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba?
If even your best friend can't see through the skies, I think we can relax.
Disguise?
Yes. I never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father.
Father? What? Is that you, Sasato?
I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that...
No, what are you doing? What's going on? What? That Barcy uniform, that Barcy cap, that Barcy cape, that Barcy badge. Look at you. You look like you look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Yume University, a male student.
I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start.
But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that?
Well, you see... And it was the only way. The only way she would be permitted to the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial.
Oh, my defense.
Mm-hmm. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike.
But women are forbidden.
Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer.
Oh, Sasato, you go to such lengths for me.
Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve.
Oh no, I have complete faith in you.
Ray.
It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet, you just because you're a woman, what a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed to in court? You're so gallant and dashing.
Ray, please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just... You really do look so dashing.
Ray's like, I swear I'm straight, I swear. Like, sure, okay.
So, this isn't it. It's no kind of awakening whatsoever, I promise.
Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray. You're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly. And how my big, manly arms would go.
Susato. You do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder.
Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. And to be your best friend, but screw that.
No. It's only for defense lawyers. That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant! Counsel! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
Bart. Oh. Stand aside!
I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. Well, Susato, you certainly surprised your father. Doing such lengths to be admitted to the courtroom, and with no prior experience of being a lawyer. Admittedly, we did watch Ryunosuke.
Yeah.
There's simply no other way, and that's all there is to it. But father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this. Yes, quite right. I've kept the information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case.
Nah.
I didn't want to burden her with that. And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was? We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student. Thank you, Father. I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times do I wish that he were here, I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san.
Oh yeah. This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami.
You got that first try and it took me 4 nights. The prosecution is fully ready to proceed. Yeah, that's right. I'm back, bench. Your Excellency.
Jeez, what happened to your hair?
Some dorkwad cut it, remember?
Oh yeah, forget
Yeah!
about that. Defense counsel, are you ready?
Yes, Your Excellency. We are ready. Ready!
Yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Is that correct?
Sorry? Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind.
Well, counsel.
Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I'm Ryutaro, who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan.
Ah.
It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing me favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo?
A fresh face in the courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is,
His cousin!
That's right. Ryutaro has been studying the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
Any of them? What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused is at the call on a country boy.
How dare you? Oh, no, don't say that. Susato was every bit as gallant-dashing as any of Tokyo's attorneys. Or whatever you making fun of her.
Her?
Oh,
Please be careful, Ray.
What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are want to flit.
The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interest. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may very well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago.
So it's been 9 months since the first case.
Dang, almost a year.
Yeah.
And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock? Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense. To determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom.
9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now. This same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. Barely.
By the skin of his teeth.
For real. For a training experienced judicial assistant like you, this would be easy.
So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
Can we say no?
Oh hey, the cape's gone.
No, you cannot say no.
Alright, it's time to prove myself. Yes, Your Excellency, but please make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Phew, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried. What's the matter? Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are want to blank. It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter under the circumstances. Oh dear, this is a dismal failure. Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem. Of course, the court record. Yes. Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case and the court record. That's right. Jesse's already on the court record. We had to incorporate a tutorial in these games all the time, so yeah. Need to flip the people section with R. And don't take too long over it, His Excellency is watching you closely. Well, we already know the name of the victim anyway.
Yeah. I thought her last name said meme instead of mem.
Mean Bame. Alright, check the court record with R. That's what the information I need will be.
She's the mean mommy. I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
The prosecution? Yeah, it's Giselle Brett.
Yes.
The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett.
Giselle Brett.
A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure.
Yeah, that witch. I mean, correct. And being a member of our Empire Judiciary, you will be aware of the significance of that name. Because she sucks. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why then, her name
Indelibly.
indelibly?
Yep.
Indelibly associated with our own empire's judicial history.
Obviously.
Or, what's that? Why then? Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I read that first part right. It wasn't
Yeah.
what then, it was why then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record. They have a recap of that? Really? Oh, yeah, they do. Okay.
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett. Behind the woman student persona was the face of...
Queen Victoria!
Queen Victoria.
A killer.
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yuma University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer. And now she is the killed. At the time, our country
Well, yeah,
just
that
signed
works
a new
out.
treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. And it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead. And I believe he was an associate here as Professor I don't know, whatever. I guess Judge is talking. Whatever! They didn't give a thing, I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, you need to put a name there, guys.
Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman in our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly.
Indeed it was. Which is why a secret trial was conducted here in the Supreme Court. A student of Imperial Human University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense. And exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett. Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached the conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. Consular, good night, I can't read. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our own empire's laws. It was decided that she be removed to Shanghai, China, instead.
Yeah, so how'd she die here then?
Yeah,
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there.
correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week.
It took that long?
She was a special case, I guess.
Say she committed the crime 9 friggin' months ago. And it finally
I
settled
know, but-
last week?
No, see, some people have it easier than others.
Oh, good night.
It's not all that good. Really, it isn't. all that remained of our empire's obligations was to see that the woman safely on board of a steamship.
And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before?
That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle.
Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Ouchie.
As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th of August in broad daylight. Wow, broad daylight. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Someone was feeling
Somebody's
brave.
bold. Yeah, I can take this girl out.
On the outskirts of the imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. Why the frick is she holding a pen?
Me neither. I have no idea.
An injury which proved fatal.
Ouch. Eek.
There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett, in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Membami. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. She did. You sure about that?
Wow.
You sure about that there,
I-
Prosecutor Ouchie?
The judge is like, even I don't believe that mess.
Right.
But please, go on.
The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
If you'll notice, we have no friggin' clue who's even committed the crime. It didn't give it away.
Yeah. Sheesh. So we got nothing to go on for this.
We only have two people. One who's dead and the other one who has to be innocent.
Sheesh.
That's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel what he said about... Well, the one thing that we were all kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that is, what kind of motive would Ray really have about that?
Right? You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Ta, ta, ta. Is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you're a research assistant at the Imperial Yumi University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with, Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that. The defendant's an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. He's like, yeah, moving on. Glad to hear work with Professor Mikotoba. Whose research were you assisting then?
Oh, I think I know the answer. Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
The powerful motive.
Oh, well, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson. Dr. Wilson? Is it an English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago?
No, another Mr. Wilson. Of course the same one.
Just making sure. Jeez, okay.
No, you just go so snippy.
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she had done. A powerful hatred. Frick.
Oh no, Ray! Be careful of what you're saying!
Ah.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Oh, this doesn't paint a very good light on Ray.
Well, cripes. Looks
Well.
like you're in the doghouse now.
It was clearly a trap all along, and we ran
right into that wascally wabbit's trap.
How? Woo! How we can use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that? That
That's kind of
wascally
mean,
wabbit.
man.
I must find out.
Darn it.
Must find more details and something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up with the prosecutor. Yeah. Okay. Well, why were they alone together?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Membami-san.
Yes, what is this? Naruhodo-san.
I'm really starting to wish we made my alias for Yutaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters.
I don't think you did a very good job of guarding her. She's dead.
I went to go get a sandwich. I'll be right back.
I'll be back in about
I-
15 minutes. Don't go and die on me.
Don't want that to happen.
That sure would
I was
suck.
just asked to accompany. Yeah. I don't want to lose my job. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion. That's all.
By who?
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there's only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
No.
Yes, because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again. Unless she went to
Yeah,
Shanghai
but if she was
herself.
gonna...
Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel. The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now, at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let them go to you. Oh dear. This is really terrifying. Father's right. We need more information. As a lawyer. Oh yeah, okay. So, the bathing spot. If I may, Prosecutor Alchi.
What do you want, you fresh-faced yokel young student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
Ha! My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused a poor country bumpkin's simple mind.
Dude, go stick that fan up your
you,
bum
man.
hole.
Bathing
Yeah,
spots
shove it way up there.
are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skin's...
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
Doesn't
You know,
make
that's a
any
good
sense.
question. For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. and the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply. For some
But
reason.
she's guilty.
Yeah, I know, it's
That's
kind of
weird.
weird. But on what grounds do we agree to such a request?
Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. Ugh, in any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong, which clearly it did, so...
If he didn't go get that sandwich.
That darn sandwich. But in fact, a murder took place. I said don't look at me! It was a young student girl who did it, not I! No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to.
I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now.
Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murder of the mentor for whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty.
Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Ray. So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Okay.
The way she's holding a pen makes it look like she was trying to write spilled wine glass, maybe trying to write something.
Okay.
Feather from her hat, mask.
Okay. Alright. What
I'll
else?
zoom out.
There's another
dress. Spilled wine bottle. And
There's
ice.
something on the table, but that's about it.
Oh, that's a wine cooler.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Still that pen, though. That is kind of curious.
Yeah, the pen and the glass stick out the most to me.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Counsel. A tragic image.
Also just want to point out, her trunk case is open.
Oh.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden. What about in the dress?
Yeah, look. That's a big old dress. Someone could just, like, stand on top of the, like, the rack and just kind of, like, hide in there.
Exactly.
The court will accept this photographic print as evidence. You get the photographic print as evidence. As I understand it, then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime, and damning evidence.
Oh, that could be bad.
Oof.
Witnesses? But who? One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective. You'll never guess who it is.
Oh boy!
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt. Sure hope he doesn't die on the way here, though he keeps coughing up blood. Ugh.
Oh. Oh, he
Yeah.
just might, though.
He's back.
Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
There's gonna be someone else who might surprise you.
I, Takatsuchi Aochi, have been waiting for this moment. Sorry? Oh yes, I hadn't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. Ah! Ryonosuke Naruhodo! What? Yes? This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten!
You become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. But you never forget that.
I still love how he just, like, dashes out of the way.
It's like, what?
Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died. The start of your own mini-Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Council? Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there's been a minor miracle atop my head. Minor indeed. Observe the ouchy growth. Can we not call it that, please?
That's disgusting.
For a multitude of reasons.
You see? You see this seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown?
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
Nowhere for you! I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you, and my victory be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution calls the witness to the stand.
As the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose. A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. I guess that's true. Hey, it's our old friend,
Hey!
Sosuke Natsume.
What are you doing here? Oh wait, I mean, he did come back though.
Yeah, but what's he doing here specifically?
Witnesses,
Well, why are you here?
please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. Yeah, good disguise, man. And I am, well, the next big thing in books. An author renowned throughout an author renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yeah, I don't know why I made him barfy. I just soon to be sold out. The satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success by Sosuke Natsume. Who's this dipweed back here?
I have no idea.
Oh my goodness.
Sheesh.
Struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be in awe of me.
I needn't?
It's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence. But all of you, please relax. Call me Sosuke, even. Yes. What on earth is Sosuke-san doing here? Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? They expose you for who you really are. Let's be over before it's begun. Yes, of course, I know. I presume Sosuke-san won't have forgotten about me. I should certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. He has a little turtle on his head! Got something on my face. Well, your glasses for one. They don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. Ah, I suppose it's a disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make up for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Sosuke-san? Sosuke-san.
Well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture. On the morning of the incident, in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less. At Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact. With Professor Mikotoba? Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They want some story or other about 2 former students who study in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snap shots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy! Scooper, like scupper, whatever. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Oh, read at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
Thank you very much. You practically threw that paper at me.
Well,
I like to imagine you just posing, and then all of a sudden, his last pose, he just flings the paper at you.
yeah! Anyway, following my interview with
Like-
the professor. But hold that thought, Soski. We got a paper to look at. Meow. Nothing to look at here, necessarily. Although, actually, are you seeing something that probably shouldn't be here? This
There's
crack.
a crack on the screen. Oh, a crack on the picture,
Yeah,
which means the camera was broken?
yeah. It's weird. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made me a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory, under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as the detective accompanies her.
That detective, I am at liberty to divulge, was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosanaga. And dang, that sandwich sure was tasty.
Thereby,
PB&J. Oh, love it.
thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all the other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. But fortunately, I'm in peak physical fitness at the moment, so...
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
If your peak is more like a valley, I was able to
Jeez
carry out my
Louise,
duty
man.
flawlessly. Don't mind the strawberry jam. That's from the PB&J.
Oh, okay.
Oh my, Inspector, you... Well, you do have something on your face now.
How unsightly. I do apologize.
Does that mean that you went on the beach too, Father?
No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that, as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Ah, but if only I had! I'd have never seen that awful sight! Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret! Who is this guy behind me?
He must be either like a spy or like his own public paparazzi.
Maybe.
Very well, I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast.
Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret, I am...
Now, what happened?
What a gaggle of goofs we got here. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in the skies. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran to the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Yes! That young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, she stabbed wildly.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she had stabbed the victim multiple times.
Multiple?
Multiple?
What do you mean? There's only one stab wound.
Hey, Inspector?
Indeed, it does appear from the test way that both witnesses here present saw it. that the very moment of this heinous crime.
What? Now, if you'll recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, that was it. Damning evidence.
What have you there, Council? A so-called mountain pen, is it?
What?
Oh wait, fountain pen. Why'd I say mountain pen?
I don't know! It's
Uh,
like it has a picture of a mountain on it, like, oh yes, the mountain pen.
Everyone loves those.
Correct, Your Excellency. I have 5 of them myself. I found at the scene whilst examining the body. They all have stab wounds.
Oh dear.
It appears in her dying moments with her final ounce of strength. The victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer. What? Oh, we don't have anything yet.
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more, you'll see that Batu and JD had already picked up on that pen being in her right hand from the beginning.
Oh, goodness me, they have already seen it. That's nothing new. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
That's right. The fountain pen. And if you would kind of examine the pen, Your Excellency.
Oh! The owner's initials have been engraved into the...
Ebonite.
Ebonite?
Yeah, ebonite.
Ebonite barrel.
It's like ebony.
Oh. R.M. Ray Mimbum.
No, that's obviously Ronald McDonald.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. I could really go for a Big Mac. The initials of the defendant!
No!
The fountain
Wait.
pen will be admitted immediately for evidence. As evidence.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah, I have to
I-
make sure the initials don't match anyone else's.
I was thinking M could be Mikotoba, but R, there's no one who fits that.
So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and a damning evidence? I dare say my job is done. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna be eating my desk.
I don't understand.
Look.
Objection. The prosecutor outed him 9 months ago. Had none of this man's poise.
Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. If you have decided to stop eating the desk.
I'm so hungry.
Naruto-san!
Naruhodo. Ne? That means... Oh, yes, me!
Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom?
I'd sure hope not.
Oh, listen here, you wisecracking...
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom. Cousin Ryutaro, put yourself together, please. Alright, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistency in the witness testimonies to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. Well, we already know one is completely way out of line.
Yup.
Let's see. Let me just do this. Okay. Well, Inspector, bad news. There were not 37 stab wounds. There was just one.
Objection!
It's like, dang, that feels good. With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel?
And she's like doing the Dio pose, like something's
It's like,
up here.
what the?
I like the
You're not about to
witness
suck my blood, are you?
I like the witness to clarify something for me. Who? What? Where? When? How? Not you, Sosuke-san. The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
At me?
In your statement just now, you said the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said, when I entered that hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What? Get to
To the point, please, counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is bogus at best. I mean, it's clearly flawed.
Totally bogus.
Totally bogus, man. It's bunk.
And Sosuke-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood in the knife that you saw the defendant holding. So what did they see? They have no reason to lie.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
Sosuke-san.
Yeah, he knows all about, like, being on the business end of, like, someone lying about what he saw.
Yeah.
That's...
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood in the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
Ah! True!
Then what exactly is your contention, counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Sosuke-san in fact saw was not the moment the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That can't be! Excellent work, Susato. You exploded them without objection, and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
And now I'll take you out for McDonald's later.
Ha! Well, well. This takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show. The only half-baked I like is from Ben & Jerry's.
You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half a head of hair. Oh, burn!
Oh, snap!
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed! Ugh, in any case, all this talk of stabbing, withdrawing, and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference. Are you
I beg
sure
to
about that?
differ.
What? Why not?
Something don't seem right to me.
Some seems kinda off here. Engage your brain, young man.
You could?
Okay.
When the accused first plunged a deadly weapon to the victim, that was a fatal blow. A fatality, if you will. And it was that moment, just as she'd withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. The knife was already tainted with blood, because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
You might not want to do that. I'll give you back pains, counsel.
And concussions.
I'm in agreement with the prosecution.
No!
If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for our actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But she was withdrawing the blade. Then we are back where we started. Sorry? Consider this, the young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent, as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation. It had better be good. Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Yes. Going for the jugular.
What does Father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, counsel.
The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could... Alright, Patu? What do you think?
Again!
Take this! And this! And this!
Gotta make sure that's properly done. Save her life, probably? That's what most people would try to do. Like,
that's right.
It's like, so it won't do any further damage to the body.
According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is...
Being a medical research assistant, Membami-san was compelled to act when faced with a wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. You expect me to believe that? Really?
Yes.
You expect the judge to believe this, too? You
That's
expect your own
far-fetched.
counsel to... Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here?
It feels pretty warm in here to me. Your Excellency, if I may.
Speak, witness.
I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Counsel, I mean.
Slipshod? An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel, hopeful, has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Do you know why?
I don't know. Wouldn't that, like, do more damage to the person if you pulled it out?
It would allow bleeding to happen more.
Or is that what you...
Yep.
Yeah, so it's usually, like, preferred if you, like, leave... If you got stabbed, just leave the object in there until you can get to, like, proper medical treatment. Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. I'll testify again before the court on the subject of the defense counsel's assertion.
Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly.
That's all I ask.
Okay.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. And that's basic knowledge any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Is what you just said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yes. Think of the weapon itself as the stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor's ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see. Ha! This is why yokels should stay on the farm! Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge.
No, that's not true, actually.
No, not really.
Anyone who's ever given some little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it. Why did I say that? I sound like a psychopath. Oh, well...
now I'm kind of questioning your motive.
I've never stabbed anyone, you see. Or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I don't know.
You could ask Ray if she pulled it out, but I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have...
Susato,
Yes?
pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Ah,
Counsel, it is time for your cross-examination.
oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issues with the established facts, I will be moving to my
Adjudication.
Adjudication. Good grief,
Yeah.
my freaking mouth. Immediately afterwards. Sheesh.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it'd be hard, but I had no idea it'd be this hard.
Okay.
Let's see.
One sec. There's something... Okay. Okay, we're gonna go right to the end of the testimony because we're gonna get a little thing here.
Okay.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course. But I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail, too.
Ah,
I realize this is your first time playing the role of a lawyer in the courtroom. So if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
examine the evidence in court record. This idea certainly, what should I do?
We know what to do.
Come to think of it, Cosmo-sama and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in great detail with A.
Ah, by looking in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court record again, have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue.
Yes, I'll do it straight away.
Alright,
And
now.
I guess it's hard to realize that when it's actually you up there, though.
Yeah. Well, now, we can look at the back, which is what we need to look at.
Okay.
And this is the newspaper from Sosuke-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical... Not this stuff again!
Oh,
Is it the
this
same
one.
stuff? From Yume's Medical Research.
Okay.
Father, isn't that your lab?
What the? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen?
It's this morning's paper that Sosuke-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I heard any such thing. Where on earth would a
What the-
reporter have gleaned this information?
Huh.
Hmm.
Come to think of it.
So,
Okay, well, if you put it like this, if we're assuming that Miss Giselle Brett stole the poison, it would have turned up from investigating her body, which means that either it's still on her person, it's in the cabin and it wasn't checked, or someone else has it. Okay, that's another problem to deal with. That's not to deal with this case at the very moment.
Oh, we're gonna need to go and look at that then. Somebody took that poison.
There's no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there? It's a highly toxic poison we'll be working on the strictest confidence. I put Ray in charge of the project. Ray? She was managing it? If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow. I don't believe it! We need to read this article very carefully. Okay. Alright. I think we might know now.
Is it? You think it's like a repeat of like what happened with Dr. Wilson?
It's starting to sound kind of like it, yeah.
Objection!
Hey! Hold up. That's... What? The guy
maybe it's
completely
not.
threw me off. It lied to me. It says,
lied to you.
Once you have the article, present on the third statement to give a very good reason why the knife had to be pulled out. Huh. Oh! I didn't present the right one! I'm an idiot!
Objection!
Huh. It's weird.
Whoops. No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. What? Ha! The Equinox is a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified? It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume unit.
Objection!
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance to this case. But...
Prosecutor Ouchie, you will let the defense speak.
Oh, snap. But a newspaper article! The court cannot rely on this kind of heresy. Whoa, not heresy. Hearsay those wretched publications carry. Here, heresy is something else entirely. Whoops.
You shut your little hair up. Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency! Yes.
Shut up!
Ah! Thank you. Ray would never done something to further endanger Miss Pratt's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled a knife from the victim's body is explained in the article, where it says... Oh, we didn't look at the entire thing. I just realized.
Oh. Oops.
Okay. Following a lecture, it was stolen. Small amount entering the body via the mouth or wound from a poison-laced blade. Ah. Even the smallest amount. Current methods cannot detect it. Onset of symptoms occur in minutes. From impaired breathing, and acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Nuisance of alkaloids commissioned by the military. Our main thing is it's such small doses.
Right. Brilliant quantities.
The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly...
Take your time, Counsel.
I think I've been poisoned. Good night. It's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Are you suggesting... If the knife used to attack Miss Pratt was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is... It was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. What?
Objection!
I don't think so!
This is complete and utter nonsense! Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. The prosecution can and will deny that possibility. Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was a hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere that it's not detectable. Dummy. We even read that.
Man?
Currently, the company detected a newly developed chemical. The university ought to be consulted. So, ha!
So, ha and ha.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison being taken. Well, oh, please! This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind, and a smelly one at that. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable at all. Anyway, at all. Whew.
In that situation, when the student should have done his way for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds does she do it, yokel? Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly...
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article? That would be the newspaper on the... Oh, I guess like the article on the back of the newspaper?
So... that is actually not it.
Really?
We didn't look at this
okay.
either. We didn't examine the evidence. So the post-mortem report, time of death, estimation, cause of death with a hemorrhage, occurred within minutes. Notes, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction. Remember what that poison does?
What is it? Oh yeah, it constricts your movements, don't it?
Well, it stops your... Hold on, how about it? Acute constriction of the pupils prior to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
the report.
I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea. So please, do tell me. Presumably, the fact this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death? Well...
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you yokel detective?
Excuse you?
They're calling her yokel.
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occur in minutes, ending with acute constriction, contraction of the pupils prior to death. What? If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils in Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely...
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Alchi, I think you'll agree. This is very compelling evidence. No! You! Yokel student and Yokel professor!
You can't use that as an argument. Oh man, I'm choppy. Hold on a minute. Hold, and there we go. I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Eugen Mikotoba.
Yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity.
Veracity, I think?
It's veracity. The veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You'll tell the court the truth about the details reported in the newspaper, please.
It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know.
You don't know.
Nope. The doctor was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly. But I was unaware of any theft.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this death are unfounded?
I would say, in order to figure that out, he'd have to go back to his lab and see if it's there or not.
That's what I'm saying.
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic.
What, you? Actually, that's bold to
Jeez,
call him an
man.
academic.
Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
Oh, push up.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision. Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them to off on killing sprees. That's totally unfounded.
Oh,
Oh. Hey, Ray.
none of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault.
Ray.
Mabami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated. But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day. What?
So you knew.
I've been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Sosuke-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed, the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Huh. Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the talks had somehow been taken. So, I thought I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
The thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman. Miss Giselle Brett? That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on the stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
And then she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me, and then collapsing on the floor.
That's gonna sound awfully unbelievable to pretty much everyone here.
Yeah. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. Okay. The pupils in her eyes they shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
So, was it Hosonaga? Was it her? Was it Natsume who killed Miss Pratt? Or...
I think it's hard to tell. Like, the inspector was away, so it couldn't have been him. And Sosuke...
I don't believe it.
Oh no. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison. My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her. Which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body.
On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was spurred you to withdraw the blade. Yes, if the amount that had been entered into her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time. Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end. Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now. Your Excellency, do not be deceived! The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed? Oh, with a knife?
Yeah. if you had to set that in
yeah,
court,
I guess you're right.
Yeah, well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
Objection!
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you? Frick.
well,
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive. Ah, but it's not condemning, so it's lesser than your pen. What's the prosecution counsel up to? Wait, did we get the pen already? We didn't look at it!
yeah, we got the pen.
Oh my goodness, we're not looking at any of our stuff.
Whoops. Well,
There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one. It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. That would seem to imply the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray. Oh.
oh, okay, so that means this wasn't Ray's pen, it's somebody else's.
Someone else with RM for initials. Just want to point out, we have no one in our thing with RM aside from Ray Membami.
That's gotta be hard to,
Yep. It was
prove. Oh,
But he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Ouchie.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student. What? I'd imagine there'd be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you brought this on yourself.
That doesn't
That
look good.
looks
Oh,
really decisive. What the? More damning shot exists? The cold in the air on the beach is almost palpable. Yeah, what the?
okay, but who shot it from here, though?
Well, this is supposed to be her pulling out the knife, though. I mean, we know that must be
I know.
the case.
Yeah,
Also,
but so that
I'm
means
starting to notice something here.
it's the same crack as the person who shot that photo.
Who shot this photo? Rakis, England, returnees tell all. This is the interview with Sosuke-san, is it, father? It looks as though it's quite an exchange. Yes, he became a little over anime when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment that Karai shot me on the neck. I do hope you weren't hurt. We didn't learn anything, and I can't read Japanese!
All the Japanese readers are gonna be like, oh yeah, I definitely know who this is.
Well, anyone who's played this game would also probably know.
Yeah.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No, that's not true. No.
I don't believe it. Ah!
I keep telling you, don't do that, Counsel. You'll hurt your back. Order! 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 Counsel for the defense. Was it you who was responsible for the shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice is yet to break. These yokers are slow of mind and slow to mature. I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Yeah, get him, Sato.
Careful now. She's starting to show her face here.
Let's see. It is often said that the picture is worth 1,000 words. And here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely cogent photograph print as evidence.
Can we flip it over? Nope. We can't. Okay.
I can't believe he's had a photograph like
Still,
this.
though,
up
we
his
do have a
sleeve
clue.
the entire time. That's true. We don't have anything to link it, though.
Yeah.
Or rather, we don't have a name behind it. Such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photo? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Who took the photograph?
Ray. I don't know. That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
Oh,
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Ah! How'd you not think of that, dude?
that's kind of stupid if you ask me. I will
Yes,
uphold the defense's
very
demand.
stupid.
The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
I forgot.
Gonna do it too. Oh, well then I guess I forgot to tell them not to send you to the gallows.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Dude,
Pardon?
what the?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. There was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness, everyone's incompetent today.
So, let me get this straight. You are willing to take a photograph with no name, no idea of a sender, not even a hint, and you're willing to accept this as being true.
That's something kind of strange.
Are we to understand then, Counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court?
When you first produced that print before, I noticed you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence! you yokel student and blabbering professor. What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses. But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. That's true. Clearly this isn't the moment the knife was plunged in the victim's back, but the moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste the court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without a doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear.
Oh no.
Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow. You'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Takatsuchi Aochi in a court of law. If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well,
Well, counsel?
Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph. And the truth is, we
have semi an answer, but it's not like a concrete answer, though.
Yeah.
Because we could always show them the newspaper as well, and show them like, hey, look, on the corner of this on this newspaper article, there's a crack.
This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal. What? No, you can't possibly! But, as you so boldly claim that you can, please, do enlighten us. Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name. How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could... However, I am able to present evidence. You cut me off. The defense is a piece of evidence that reveals important details of the photograph's identity. What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something to do with the identity of the mystery photographer? What is that? The newspaper again? Is it... Oh, Raucous. I almost said racist. Raucous English and
racist England man returns to tell all about his hatred.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph.
Oh?
If you look at it closely, you'll notice that
he's getting chopped in the neck.
He's dying! You'll notice there's some white lines on the right-hand side.
Oh, yes, indeed. That already caught my eye, as it happens.
Ha! What of it? A shaft of some kind, presumably, from the branches of a tree inside a building. Unless you're in a tree house, I don't think they're branches.
There are no trees going inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
You dumb stupid.
You dumb idiot.
Now, if you look...
Dummy.
if you look closely at this photograph...
You moron.
Good gracious.
Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present in this photograph, too. Well, that tells us nothing. Yeah.
Tells us everything.
No.
Baldy.
Ha! Yes! It's a shadow of some kind, definitely. From the branches of a tree. There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Council. Shot
You
down
really like
again!
trees, don't you?
I should really just stop saying stupid stuff, huh?
Probably that will help your case. What's quite remarkable about it is that the two powers are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of... Well, we already know it's a camera defect.
Yep.
Like, you suspected that when you saw it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it must be due to a problem the camera used to take the photographs. With the photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say the camera's lens must be scratched. And the scratched lens cause unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera. But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one. I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Algie, that one of the photographs featured a newspaper article. A newspaper... Ah! That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime. What? Ah! Mini memo!
Hmm? I see why you're called a Raucous Inkling returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified! It's Mini Memo! I tell you! Mini Memo! Memo! Sosuke-san, what was that? Did you say Mini Memo? Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following my every move. Oh, is that the guy who's behind you? A reporter by the name of Writing Many He's writing many memos.
Oh, a memo.
Also, RM.
Oh, so that's his pin then.
Uh-huh. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk. Ah, now that he mentions it.
Yep. There he is back there.
Could that same reporter be... What you writing back there?
Many memos.
Ah, sweet. A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with writing many memo.
So you're saying that the picture was taken by...
By many memo, yes! My lord, your excellency, esquire!
Officer! Find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. Even though he was just here and we
He
just
probably
didn't.
ran off when he heard, oh, wait, they suspect me.
Oh, shoot. Oh, God. Got to run for it. We'll adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, your excellency. As you say, your excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison.
You're not gonna find
Even though
anything.
it's undetectable. You will solicit,
Oh, never mind,
solicit
they'll
the
find it.
assistance of Imperial University. Oh, we will?
Because they're going
you will
to the
solicit...
university.
Oh, okay. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, yes, your excellency. Meh. Many memo!
I was like, who cares?
And hey, that's it for the episode, so thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check all the links in the description, keep an eye for community posts, and as always, we'll see you back in court on another day!
Woo!